now a little over a month ago. The Ministry of Civil Aviation has implemented a multi-layered response focused on ensuring passenger safety and convenience while working on keeping the industry stable. The ministry is closely and continuously monitoring the evolving situation arising out of the ongoing conflict. As we all know, the several countries, including Iran, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, and the UAE, have imposed airspace closures or severe restrictions, which has led to unprecedented disruption in global aviation networks and international connectivity. Despite these challenges and constrained conditions, Indian carriers who operate on international routes have demonstrated exceptional resilience and operational agility and maintained services from this region, which underscores the robustness and responsiveness of the Indian aviation sector. There have been challenges, of course, one of these being that due to the airspace restrictions, flights, especially to Europe, North America, by Indian carriers have to take a longer route, which has increased the travel time and the associated costs. In the midst of this evolving situation and scenario, the government has taken a number of steps to tackle the situation. On the ATF pricing, as you are all aware, a week ago, it was due to the timely intervention by the government on the pricing of aviation turbine fuel, which constitutes around 40% of total operational costs of airlines, which has ensured that domestic airfares have remained stable. Moreover, the ministry is coordinating with other stakeholders and is actively engaged in working on significant measures to support the industry during this time. Some operational relaxations have also been extended, especially in the case of those longer routes, like I mentioned, to manage the strain on longer routes, basically, for which the DGCA has temporarily relaxed pilot flight duty time limitations to prevent acute crew shortages. To maintain essential supply chains, foreign carriers such as Emirates, Kuwait Airways, and Jazeera have also been granted some special dispensations in the form of allowing them to operate passenger aircraft for all cargo services. This has ensured the seamless continuity of critical cargo movement despite the ongoing disruptions. So while the situation remains dynamic, the government remains firmly committed to ensuring passenger safety and convenience, uninterrupted cargo movement, and overall sectoral stability. The Ministry of Civil Aviation continues to work in close and continuous coordination with all stakeholders to ensure an effective, balanced, and responsive approach during this period.
Thank you. Now we will move to Petroleum Ministry. Sujata ji.
नमस्कार। देश में पेट्रोल, डीजल, एलपीजी, पीएनजी की सप्लाई सामान्य है। एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप्स पर कोई ड्राई आउट रिपोर्टेड नहीं है। इसी तरह सारे पेट्रोल पंप भी नॉर्मल ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, पर्याप्त डीजल और पेट्रोल के साथ, और कहीं पर कोई ड्राई आउट रिपोर्टेड नहीं है। एलपीजी सिलेंडर्स की डिलीवरी नॉर्मल है। ऑनलाइन बुकिंग लगभग 96% है और डीएसी या ओटीपी बेस्ड डिलीवरी लगभग 90% तक है। कमर्शियल एलपीजी के संबंध में जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, भारत सरकार ऑलरेडी 70% तक कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सप्लाई रेस्टोर कर चुकी है और अभी तक 14 मार्च से लगभग 45.5 लाख 19 किलो के सिलेंडर्स भी सेल हुए हैं और इसकी क्वांटिटी लगभग 86,400 मेट्रिक टन्स होती है। कल लगभग 6,500 टन कमर्शियल एलपीजी की सेल हुई और अगर इसको हम 19 किलो के सिलेंडर्स के टर्म्स में देखें तो लगभग 3.5 लाख होता है। 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि फरवरी महीने में एवरेज सेल पर डे लगभग 77,000 थी। कल भारत सरकार ने एक नया ऑर्डर इशू किया है और इस ऑर्डर के द्वारा 5 किलो FTL सिलेंडर की सेल को डबल करने की बात की गई है। कल लगभग 1 लाख सिलेंडर, 5 किलो के 1 लाख सिलेंडर्स की सेल हुई है। मैं ये भी बताना चाहूँगी कि हमारी ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज़ ने पिछले 4 दिनों में लगभग 1300 अवेयरनेस कैंप्स किए हैं और इन अवेयरनेस कैंप्स में लगभग 10,000 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स भी सेल हुए हैं। अवेयरनेस कैंप्स का मेन उद्देश्य है अवेयरनेस बढ़ाना, ताकि कंज्यूमर को ये पता हो कि 5 किलो का सिलेंडर उसको कहाँ पर मिल सकता है। 23 मार्च से लगभग 7,80,000 से ज़्यादा 5 किलो के सिलेंडर्स की सेल हो चुकी है। नेचुरल गैस के संबंध में भी मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी कि डोमेस्टिक कंज्यूमर को तो प्रोटेक्ट किया ही गया है, PNG को और CNG ट्रांसपोर्ट को। इसके अलावा फर्टिलाइज़र्स को भी 6 तारीख से 90% उनका 6 महीने का जितना नेचुरल गैस का कंजम्पशन था उसको 90% तक ले जाने की बात कही गई है और ये ऑलरेडी इट इज़ अराउंड 80%। CGD नेटवर्क्स को भी एडिशनल PNG देने की बात कही गई है। इसके अलावा भारत सरकार ने कल एक मॉडल स्टेट CBG पॉलिसी भी रिलीज़ की है स्टेट्स के लिए, and it is basically based on consultation with the stakeholders, and it is said that the states which will prioritize the CBG, they will be considered for additional allocation of commercial LPG in the next tranche. तो जो states और UTs CBG को प्रमोट करने में आगे आएंगे उनके लिए कमर्शियल LPG की एडिशनल एलोकेशन की बात कही गई है। मार्च के महीने से लेकर अभी तक लगभग 3,76,000 नए कनेक्शंस को गैस दी गई है। इसके अलावा 4 लाख से ज़्यादा नए कंज्यूमर्स भी रजिस्टर हुए हैं। 16,500 से ज़्यादा LPG कंज्यूमर्स ऐसे हैं जिनके पास PNG है और उन्होंने LPG कनेक्शन सरेंडर किया है। हमारी क्रूड की सिचुएशन कंफर्टेबल है। हमारी रिफाइनरीज आर ऑपरेटिंग एट ऑप्टिमम लेवल, सम ऑफ देम आर ऑपरेटिंग मोर देन 100% ऑल्सो। एनफोर्समेंट के बारे में मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि भारत सरकार लगातार स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के टच में है, यूनियन टेरिटरी गवर्नमेंट्स के टच में है और कई बार उनको पत्र लिखे गए हैं। इसी क्रम में कल भारत सरकार के 3 सचिव MOPNG, INB एंड कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स की एक मीटिंग हुई है सारे स्टेट्स और यूनियन टेरिटरीज़ के साथ, और वहाँ पर फोकस था कि जो फेक न्यूज़ है या मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन है उसको एक्टिवली काउंटर किया जाए, ब्रीफ्स दी जाए, जनता को इन्फॉर्मेशन दी जाए, सही इन्फॉर्मेशन ताकि उन तक पहुँच पाए। एनफोर्समेंट के बारे में मैं बताना चाहूँगी कि कल एक दिन में लगभग 4,300 रेड हुई हैं, लगभग 1,200 सिलेंडर सीज हुए हैं। इसके अलावा ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज़ ने अभी तक लगभग 1,700 शो कॉज नोटिस दिए हैं, 168 LPG डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स पर पेनल्टी भी लगाई है और लगभग 45 LPG डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स को सस्पेंड भी किया गया है। अंत में आप सभी के माध्यम से मैं देशवासियों से प्रार्थना करना चाहूँगी कि अफवाहों पर विश्वास न करें और आवश्यकता के अनुसार ही फ्यूल क्रय करें। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Sujata. And now we move over to Shipping Ministry.
Good afternoon. All the Indian seafarers in the region are safe and no incident involving Indian flagged vessel has been reported in the past 24 hours. As of now, 16 Indian flag vessels with 433 seafarers remains in the Western Persian Gulf region. Directorate General of Shipping is in coordination with ship owners, RPSL agencies and Indian missions is actively monitoring the situation. The DG Shipping Control Room has handled 5,342 calls and around 11,000 emails since activation. In the past 24 hours, 229 calls and 406 emails are received. DG Shipping has facilitated safe repatriation of over 1,691 Indian seafarers so far, including 92 in the past 24 hours from airports and various regional locations across the Gulf. The ports remain operational and normal in India with no congestion reported. State maritime boards have also confirmed about smooth functioning. The ministry continues to coordinate with the Ministry of External Affairs, Indian missions, maritime stakeholders to ensure seafarer welfare and uninterrupted maritime operations. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Asim ji.
Good afternoon. The Ministry of External Affairs continues to closely monitor the developments in the Gulf and West Asia region. Our efforts remain focused on ensuring the safety, security, and welfare of the large Indian community in the region. We remain in close contact with the state governments and union territories for sharing latest advisories and to coordinate with our embassies and consulates. The dedicated special control room in the ministry is working in tandem with our missions and posts to support Indian nationals. Across the region, our missions and posts are operating round-the-clock helplines and also responding to queries on email and social media channels. The advisories being issued by our missions have updated information regarding local government guidelines for safety and security, flight and travel situation, and consular services. Our ambassadors are regularly interacting with Indian community associations, organizations, professional groups, and Indian companies to understand and address their concerns. We continue to proactively assist our citizens for facilitation of visas, transit through neighboring countries where airspace restrictions apply, and providing logistical support where required. Our missions remain in close contact with the local governments. We are according high priority to the welfare of Indian students in the Gulf countries. Our missions are in regular touch and are actively coordinating with the local authorities, Indian schools in the region, concerned educational boards, and the National Testing Agency to address the concerns of students. Our missions continue to provide all support to the Indian crew members on vessels across the region, including coordination with local authorities and agencies, extending consular assistance, and facilitating requests for return to India. An update on the status of flights. Flights continue to operate from the region to India from countries where airspace is open. Since February 28th, around 760,000 passengers have traveled from the region to India. Airlines continue to operate limited non-scheduled commercial flights based on operational and safety considerations between UAE and India. Around 90 flights are expected to operate from the UAE to India today. Flights are operating from various airports in Saudi Arabia and Oman to different destinations in India. With the Qatar airspace partially open, Qatar Airways is expected to operate around 8 to 10 flights to India today. Kuwait airspace remains closed. Jazeera Airways of Kuwait as well as Kuwait Airways have been operating non-scheduled commercial flights from Dammam Airport of Saudi Arabia to various destinations in India. Bahrain airspace remains closed. Gulf Air of Bahrain has been operating non-scheduled commercial flights from Dammam Airport of Saudi Arabia to various destinations in India. Our embassy in Tehran has so far facilitated movement of 1,862 Indian nationals from Iran to Armenia and Azerbaijan for onward travel to India. This includes 935 Indian students and 472 Indian fishermen. Due to flight restrictions and airspace closure, we continue to facilitate travel of Indian nationals from Israel through Egypt and Jordan to India, from Iraq through Jordan and Saudi Arabia to India, and from Kuwait and Bahrain through Saudi Arabia to India. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll take questions. Yes, first row, 54 and 67.
My question is for Sujata ma'am. There are reports that the oil marketing companies, they have capped the refinery transfer price. Can you share details on what is the mechanism that is being followed and the reason for that? Also on April 4, the ministry had said in a Twitter post that LPG vessel from Iran named as Seabird that is docked at Mangalore port and discharging LPG. Can you share details of that vessel? Has it discharged and has it left? Thank you.
Yes, 67.
Hi, Udit from The Print. My question is also to Sujata ma'am. So ma'am, few days back, you told us that around 80,000 metric ton is the consumption of LPG. So given that, lack of consumers are shifting from towards PNG, and new applications are also coming and people have given up LPG, have we seen any considerable or meaningful decline in the daily consumption of LPG? Yeah.
46.
Thank you. I'm Anil Handa. My first question is to the aviation. What are the total number of flights which have been cancelled in this period? And on petroleum, ma'am, this 5 kg cylinder, the Delhi government has banned the sale of cylinders from the warehouses and offices of the dealers. So what is the delivery mechanism for this? And ma'am, I have a question on coal. Can I? If you allow me. Yeah. Coal is something which is one of the major source of energy for the country, is it? And in the volatile situation, I would like to know if the coal gasification proposal have come or the government proposes to work on it.
4 in the first row and 22 and 2 and 280, then we take the next round.
This is for Shipping Ministry. Actually, yesterday you said that you will be going to provide us about the details of the vessels, Indian flagged, and the commodities that they are carrying for India, and non-Indian flagged and the commodities that they are carrying. So can you provide us a breakup on that? And Sujata ma'am, yesterday also we had asked this question about the Iranian oil purchases and the payment mechanisms. So if there is any detail that you would like to share with us today.
2.
Good afternoon. My name is Saptaparna Ghosh. I'm from The Hindu. Question to civil aviation. It's that I'm just reading that Indigo's and a couple of other commercial carriers, their fuel surcharges have nearly doubled on certain routes. So what is your assessment of on that front? And secondly, with respect to ATF, if you could describe the pressures that our scheduled carriers are facing as of now, and I mean, considering it was a staggered hike, what is the outlook going forward? And question to Sujata ma'am, could you, the order yesterday that came in about free trade LPG cylinders, it had its base as March 2nd and 3rd. Could you please help us understand the rationale for taking that base, because it goes back a month or so?
22.
Hi, my name is Aishwarya from Business Today. My question is, tomorrow is Tuesday. I mean, we have seen Trump's tweet about the deadline that it has given to Iran. What kind of preparedness has the Indian government discussed? And in terms of the steps in policy, from a long-term point of view, by that I mean exploration and strategic reserves, if you can give some outlook on that.
280, behind 280. And then we can take 228 also.
Good evening, sir. My question is for Ao, sir. So considering that while the fuel surcharge is there, the question has already been asked. But besides this, how is the government planning to provide relief to the airlines in terms of, say, ground charges at the airports? Or is there any other plan in the making so that the industry can be supported in some way or the other?
Hi, my question is for the officer at Civil Aviation. So the question was also previously asked about the number of flights that have been cancelled. Some people have been reporting, some publications have been reporting over 10,000 of flights or even more flights have been cancelled. Is there a weekly breakup that you could give us about the number of cancellations? And or if you could just give us a ballpark.
228. And then we'll take 16 also, and then we'll...
So I'm Prakasham Pudiyatti, Madhurabhumi, Kerala. My question is, how many days worth of aviation fuel and petroleum products does India currently have in reserve? How many days it will last?
First row.
Hi, Sukal from Indian Express. My question is to Asangba sir. Just wanted to check about these FDTL relaxations that have been given for long-haul flights in view of the West Asia crisis. Till when are they in effect? Because earlier I think we were given to understand that they should be in force until the end of April. But considering that we do not know how this war is going to go, and there is currently no end in sight in that sense. Have deliberations already started on possibly extending the FDTL relaxations? Thank you.
Now we'll have the answers. We can start.
Yeah. So first question was regarding Delhi, one of the questions. तो उसके बारे में मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी कि दिल्ली सरकार का जो प्रयत्न है वो ये है कि लोग गोडाउन पर जाके ना खड़े हों और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास जहाँ पर उसके शोरूम में जहाँ पर उसको ये बताया जाए कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास जाकर वो अपना 5 किलो का सिलेंडर ले सकते हैं। जब मैं अपनी ब्रीफिंग आपको दे रही थी तब भी मैंने एक नंबर आपको स्पेसिफाई किया कि पिछले 4 दिनों में जो हमने कैंप किए उसके बारे में 1300 के करीब, और इसके अलावा वहाँ पर कैंप्स के अंदर सेल भी किया सिलेंडर्स को। सो उसका प्रयत्न यही था कि हम लोगों को ये बता पाएँ कि एलपीजी का 5 किलो का सिलेंडर एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास मिलेगा। सो दैट वाज द एफर्ट। इसके अलावा रिफाइनरी ट्रांसफ़र प्राइस के बारे में एक सवाल था। आई विल से दिस इज़ अ कमर्शियल डिसीजन बिटवीन द बायर एंड सेलर एंड दैट डिसाइड्स द प्राइस ऑल्सो। इसके एक्सप्लोरेशन, डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, एफर्ट्स टेकन के बारे में एक सवाल था। इसके संबंध में मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि हमने अपने क्रूड को काफ़ी हद तक प्रोक्योरमेंट को काफ़ी हद तक डाइवर्सिफाई किया है and we are taking crude from more than 40 countries. Similarly, LPG में भी वही डाइवर्सिफिकेशन की कोशिश की गई है और जैसे कि हम पहले यूएस से नहीं लेते थे, अब आर ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज आर टेकिंग फ्रॉम यूएस। स्ट्रैटेजिक रिजर्व के बारे में इट्स अंडर एक्टिव कंसिडरेशन एंड वी विल डेफिनेटली कम बैक टू यू एट appropriate time on that. Then one of the question was regarding the evacuation of product of some particular tanker. I am not having that information right now. What is the status? I will get back to you. न्यू पीएनजी कनेक्शंस की बात की और उसका इम्पैक्ट एलपीजी के ऊपर आपने कहा। आप जैसे कि जानते हैं कि हमारा आज की तारीख में एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बेस इज़ मोर देन 33 करोड़। सो 33.5 करोड़ से ज़्यादा हमारे हाउस होल्ड्स हैं जो आज की तारीख में एलपीजी पर डिपेंड करते हैं। आप ये भी जानते हैं कि हमारी इंपोर्ट डिपेंडेंसी एलपीजी पर पीएनजी के मुकाबले ज़्यादा है। इसी सिचुएशन को रिजॉल्व करने के लिए, सॉल्व करने के लिए भारत सरकार का ये कोशिश है कि लोग एलपीजी से पीएनजी पर शिफ्ट हों और इसी ही क्रम में बहुत सारे डिसीजंस भी लिए गए हैं और समय समय पर आपको उससे अवगत कराया गया है। And we are hopeful in coming time we will have that impact visible also. Last point was regarding availability of petrol and diesel. मैं आपको ये कहना चाहूँगी कि in spite of all panic buyings, there has been a sufficient supply and that is still maintained. Thank you. It's the Ministry of Coal that can give, yeah.
We will be having a briefing from Ministry of Coal. It is scheduled in a few days, whatever.
Purchase mechanism was one question asked. I will say it is again, it depends on factors like what is the conversion rate, etc., which is decided by the companies. Thank you. मैंने आपको जब ब्रीफिंग में बता रही थी तो मैंने आपको कहा था कि हमारा फरवरी के महीने में जो एवरेज कंजम्पशन रहा है वो लगभग 77,000 के आसपास रहा है। सो मार्च 2nd and 3rd का जो भी एवरेज रहा है दैट इज़ मोर देन व्हाट वाज इन फरवरी। So to give a comfort and also give an additional supplies, this decision has been taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ria, please.
Yeah, so the first question was regarding the flights cancelled. So on an average, Indian carriers used to fly about anything between 300 to 350 flights a day, both ways. And today that number has come down to 80, 90. So you can do the math and you can assess the number of flights that have to be cancelled because of the situation prevailing. So that takes the total since the beginning of this the situation that is from 28th of February. The total number of flights cancelled by Indian carriers is more than 10,000. So that is the status. Regarding the pressure on the airlines, pardon? Yeah, so I said on a daily basis, every day about anything between, because routes are not flown every day depending on the network. So 300 to 350 flights per day, both ways, was what Indian carriers used to operate between India and the Gulf region, basically, or this area, including West Asian countries. That has come down to 80/90 flights a day. So that is the remaining are cancelled. So over the period of this slightly over a month now, that number, the total number of flights cancelled is more than 10,000 by Indian carriers. Regarding the pressure on airlines, of course there's a pressure on airlines specifically from I would say on two fronts. One, 50% of all international operations by Indian carriers used to be to this region. And international flights are a good source of revenue for the airlines. So it has definitely impacted their revenue income, and which obviously then affects the financials of the airline. The second thing, obviously, is the ATF, which I have mentioned. And with the intervention of the government, the ATF pricing for the domestic routes was kept. There was an increase, but it was a very moderate increase, and which the airlines have now calculated it into their, taken it into their calculation, and based on which distance-based surcharge has been, they have started imposing. Some airlines have done it earlier, and other airlines have done it later, but most of the airlines have now put in that surcharge, which is now based on the distance of the flight. So that is basically to try and to cover the difference between the operational cost and the operational cost, to cover up the operational cost basically on due to the increase in ATF pricing. Other measures to support airlines, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, that the Ministry of Civil Aviation is actively working with all stakeholders, exploring all means how we can support the industry, especially the airlines, to bring down the costs, which eventually will be passed on to the passengers. And as I reiterate that the primary aim of the government is to make sure that the passenger convenience, if you look at, because it is still robust, if you look at the number of people traveling, especially in the domestic routes, even just yesterday the number was more than 470,000. So on a daily basis, more than 3,300 flights are operating daily, and with very high passenger load factors. So the demand is still there, and that to make sure that the flights remain, this sector remains buoyant, all measures are being explored to support the aviation industry. The last question was on the FDTL period. Yes, it's true that because of these longer flights that had to be taken, the FDTL norms were slightly relaxed for these long haul flights. It will be revisited. The time, we still have some time, and of course it's an evolving situation like I mentioned, and as the situation evolves and as we take into consideration what happens in the coming days, this dispensation will be relooked at, and if required, we will take the necessary call at that point of time. So it's the end of April, yeah, as of now.
Thank you. Shipping Ministry.
Thank you. So the question was how many ships are there, vessels are there on the western side of Persian Gulf. So as I told yesterday also, 16 total vessels are there. Those are Indian flagged vessels. And as regard to cargo, you will appreciate that these are commercially sensitive information, so difficult for me to provide this. Thank you. That is too commercial information, so it will be difficult. so आज ये stand. Thank you.
That's okay. Any more questions? Yeah. 188.
Domestic airspace, the flights are being preponed in Indian domestic sector. Flights are being preponed by about 4 hours. So it's affecting the passenger. Like suppose I have to come from Bombay to Delhi. So I'll not be able to catch my next flight. So how do you mean how these airlines are just preponing things?
And we'll take the last question, 76. Yes, please.
Hi, this is Amit Bhardwaj from India Today for Ministry of Civil Aviation. So in the last briefing, you had said that after the staggered increase in the ATF 25% that has been allowed, the airlines will be recalibrating their decision, and rightly so, they have recalibrated their decision. They have introduced fuel surcharges. First it was Indigo, now it is Air India, and it's all across. The industry insiders are saying that it's happening because while 25% or the relaxation on ATF has been given for the domestic operations, no such relaxation has been given for the international operations. Hence, they were forced to take this call, and airfare increase or the base airfare increase cannot be denied either. So what are the steps being taken by the MOCA to ensure that the operations in international routes are become slightly better for the operators, for the airlines? Number two, many of these insiders have also cited now the long routes that they are taking. Many of the planes have to be refueled at airports such as Vienna. So is MOCA considering any kind of support system that could be given to the operators on that front? Thank you.
Yeah. So on the first question, I'm not aware of any such thing, but I'm sure the airlines are aware of such, and the seamless movement of passengers is being ensured by them, because once you book a ticket, through ticket, it's ensured that you are able to board the subsequent flight. So that should be taken care of by the airlines. The second point on ATF, yes, like I already mentioned this, that the airfare, the fuel surcharge was announced by some airlines much earlier, some in fact in mid-March itself, considering the fact that the ATF pricing comes into effect on the first day of the month. And anticipating this hike, they had some airlines had put in a surcharge, which they had recalibrated now based on the announcement that was made on the 1st of April. In some cases, the surcharge has gone down, and in some cases, the surcharge increased. But it is now, distance, it is based on a distance. With regard to international, yes, it's a call that was taken that this ATF pricing would be for domestic routes, and the international routes would not be given this benefit. But the airlines are also working on this, and again I mentioned, it is not only the ATF, which, though ATF is a significant component of the operational cost, there are others which the ministry is looking at, and how to support the industry is what we are working on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you, officers. Thank you, everybody.
We will be joined by Ministry of Coal tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot Central to Ed. That's okay. That's our own person. Thank you.
सीधा प्रसारण आप अंतर मंत्रालय प्रेस वार्ता का जो नियमित प्रेस वार्ता केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से की जा रही है इंटर मिनिस्ट्रियल ग्रुप के द्वारा, उसका आप सीधा प्रसारण देख रहे थे, जिसमें कि पश्चिम एशिया से जो युद्ध के उपजे हालात हैं उसमें भारत सरकार की तरफ से अलग अलग मंत्रालय किस तरह से मिलकर काम कर रहे हैं, किस तरह से तेल गैस समेत तमाम जो आवश्यक वस्तुएं उसकी आपूर्ति सुनिश्चित की जा रही है, और साथ में जो भारतीय विदेशों में हैं, खाड़ी देशों में, उनकी सुरक्षा किस तरह से सुनिश्चित की जा रही है, जो अपने देश वापस आना चाहते हैं उनको किस तरह से वापस लाया जा रहा है, इन सारी मुद्दों पर जो जानकारी है वो इस प्रेस वार्ता में दी गई। अभी वक्त है एक ब्रेक का। ब्रेक के बाद आज इस वक्त में विशेष रूप से हम बात करने वाले हैं तमिलनाडु की राजनीति में दो तरह की बातों की। एक तो एक्स फैक्टर, तमिलनाडु को फिल्मी हीरो और राजनीति में फिल्मी हीरो के असर के लिए जाना जाता है, जो फिल्मी नायक नायिकाएं हैं उनके असर के लिए। तो वो इस बार भी कोई फैक्टर है क्या, इस पर बात करेंगे। और इसके बाद बात करेंगे कि तमिलनाडु में जो कार्तिकेय दीपम विवाद था, सनातन का मुद्दा, और साथ में जो सिर्फ एक पक्ष को निशाने बनाने वाला सेक्युलरिज्म है, जिसमें मोहब्बत की दुकान में बोल बिगड़ जाते हैं, इस पर खास चर्चा भी करेंगे। अभी एक छोटा सा ब्रेक ले लेते हैं।
बीते एक दशक में देश बदला है, लेकिन महिलाओं के लिए पूरी दुनिया बदली है। अब सपने सिर्फ देखे नहीं जाते, उड़ाए जाते हैं। नमो ड्रोन दीदी योजना से मिट्टी से जुड़ने वाली उंगलियां अब आसमान की तकनीक संभाल रही हैं। जल जीवन मिशन से अब मीलों का सफर महज एक नल की दूरी पर सिमट आया है। समय की वो बचत अब खुद की पहचान बनाने में खर्च होती है। लखपति दीदी बनकर अब वो सिर्फ परिवार चलाने वाली नहीं, सफलता की मिसाल है। सालाना 1 लाख से ज्यादा की कमाई अब कोई सपना नहीं, एक हकीकत है। प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना ने धुएं के अंधेरे से आजादी दी तो हर रसोई में उम्मीद की रोशनी आ गई। सुरक्षा का ढाल हो, कानूनी अधिकार या रहने का सुरक्षित ठिकाना, मिशन शक्ति ने हर मोड़ पर नारी को बेखौफ किया है। ऐसी तमाम योजनाएं आज देश की बेटियों को हर कदम पर आगे बढ़ा रही हैं, क्योंकि बेटियां अब सिर्फ घर की लक्ष्मी नहीं, देश की शक्ति भी हैं। अब नेतृत्व की बारी है, नारी शक्ति वंदन की जिम्मेदारी है।
मेरी पसंद,
मेरी पसंद,
मेरी पसंद, मेरी पसंद।